Good evening. The idea I have for this video, I'm just gonna be a little bit more personal on this, and personal means reflecting myself and whatnot. Because let's face it, that's the thing I have to offer here you know, is that so. What I wanted, the idea is just very simple. I mean, if this was a storybook or a newspaper article or something, it would, I don't know, if it was a storybook or some kind of brochure, it would be called Finding Your Place, right? But it has to do with me, obviously. And that's one of the reasons why, if you are one of the few that actually relate, you'd watch this and go, okay, it kind of makes sense, or take whatever you can out of it. Maybe just watch a couple of minutes, maybe watch the whole thing. I don't know. What I'm going to talk about is, or the idea I have is, oh, sorry, I already said it. Yeah, finding your place. So with me, I would say that as a shadow, my place was almost non-existent, yet still just a little bit existent. I mean, I was the guy sitting in the lecture that was barely existent and barely noticeable, yet everybody was noticing because he was the only guy who was barely noticeable. So everybody you might see a few smirks on people's faces sitting there, with this guy who's in their team orientation or in their team meeting or in class or in the lecture, whatever it is. That was me. Yeah, I had a place. I was just bumping from place to place, always on my beginner tip. Let me begin this, now let me begin that. I gotta move on because I can't waste any more time here. Let me begin that. And that was the situation with me. Which in a way is a good thing, because if I just stayed at that one point, I would have never been where I am today. And now I actually have a bit of an actual presence. And I'm actually not just an introductory kind of guy. I'm actually kind of advancing in things that I should be advancing in, anything typically. But like I said, okay, let's get on with it. I think this was a bit of a long intro. Finding my place. I feel like I'm getting in there. It's still a bit unclear. Like, to be honest, I am quite unclear on where I'm gonna be. Let's say not tomorrow, but let's say in a month. What is my present, or my present presence gonna look like in a month? You know what I mean? What exactly? Now I know that, and you might, okay, call me funny, whatever. I got my own science and my own way of looking at things, but I really think it was about 2.5 months ago when I started having a presence, and instantly it was like I parachuted down into the spot I wanted. To be honest, I felt like I parachuted down in New York. That's how I felt. I felt like I parachuted down in New York, and I was like walking around New York. That's how I felt. Right? Not literally, obviously, but I did actually feel like that. Like I was like in New York. A month or two went by, and things got kind of started getting a little bit serious. And then up until recently, I felt like I actually made like real gains that I haven't made. Like I'm actually advancing as myself, finding my place, which is higher than I would think. And I don't mean higher like I am better than you. No, I just mean higher like, I'm over 30 years old, so I should be higher in whatever I'm doing. Even a bum is a higher quality after 30 or 40 years. He's a better bum than a 20-year-old bum who's just starting out. Right? Am I right or am I wrong? Right? So don't always associate higher with, oh, you think you're better than me kind of thing. That's not what it means. Higher, for example, is like you're here learning and I'm here teaching you the subject because I'm qualified to be teaching you the subject, and most of the students are interested and learning, which means I'm doing an effective job and I'm making a difference. And I'm qualified for the job. That's what it means. There might be somebody higher than me. That's the principal. The principal overlooks any major issues, any changes they need to bring forward. It is the most. It is considered the most senior presence or position within a school, right? And so that's what I see as higher. I don't see higher as in, oh, I'm better than you. I see higher as in, if we're doing engineering or architecture and I've designed 6 of the most magnificent buildings in the world, and or some of the most magnificent buildings in the world, and I'm very renowned, I'm higher, obviously. And that is a collective understanding and decision. Most people will go, well, he is higher. It doesn't matter if somebody likes you or not, they will accept that you're higher. Because, for example, if somebody really hates your guts, and they go, you know what, I can take this guy on any day, on any level of our competition, and I will. And hey, you know what? I think he's around my level. I think he's that high that I can deal with him, and I want to deal with him. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily, somebody not liking you doesn't mean that you're gonna be avoided or you're gonna be safe. Sometimes somebody not liking you means that they turn up the competition. And the heat turns up too. You know what I mean? That's something that actually happens, right? Now I'm not by any means that architect or anything. It was just kind of explaining something, explaining a point. But I feel like I've actually, and I will admit, not to toot my own horn or anything like that, but ever since I was a kid, I was always told that I was really bright. I mean, whenever I learned something, it would take me I would just learn it in a snap, I would learn it right away. You know what I mean? Anything they threw at me, I learned it right away. Yeah, I didn't advance and I didn't stay there and I didn't have a seat. I just moved on to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. Which would actually make me quite useless prior, and I'd say that now I'm a bit more useful. And that's a really important thing for me to become legit in the communities. I have to become useful. I have to have some kind of use within this world, and that's kind of finding my place, finding how to make a living, finding how to have a lifestyle, or what kind of lifestyle I should have, or whatever the case is. Right, so that's what it's about. So continuing finding my place, that's all it is. I know the place is always changing, and I know that being where I am right now and spending all that time as a shadow, learning each thing, it's not like it was useless. And I am kind of a bit of a rapid kind of, I'll admit I'm not the quickest guy in the field, but I'm one of the quickest guys on the field. That gives me a little bit of advantage, and that allows me to kind of move fast. Some people say it's too fast, but I go first of all, I never want to move too fast, but I don't want to move too slow either. I want to move at the right speed. So whatever's right, I'm gonna do it how it's right. I don't know where I'm going. I'm not saying that I'm gonna be the biggest restaurateur, food blogger, or anything, or even YouTuber. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm trying to find my place. I'm trying to figure out what I'm good at. I'm trying to figure out what kind of direction I should go in. I don't think I think I can fit in much better than before, because before I was a shadow. But as of now, it's gonna take me time to really find out how I fit in, what kind of use I have, what I'll be doing, how I'll be living my life. But, the fact is that, living a shadow so long, you actually look forward to it. That's the whole thing about life, is moving forward. What is it going to look like moving forward? That's excitement. That's interest. You know what I mean? And that's also a way to live with the tides rather than living in the past. In the past I did this. Hey, I was the best level 1 in this and this and that and that and that. And the past becomes my token. That's not the way I wanted. I want a genuine token. I want a genuine use, and I want a genuine place. And I'm very happy with this video right now. I'm going to wrap it up again. And I feel like I'm even getting better at this. But I like to wrap it up. We're evening, almost, not yet into night. So I'll just say good evening.